So, very warm welcome to you and here to my preview video for the Serie A in Italy. We try the same thing that we've done for the Premier League in England, for the La Liga in Spain, Bundesliga, second Bundesliga in Germany as well, whereby there we haven't done those steps maybe in the video. I'm trying to initialize once again and take you through this whole process, because you also can get your access to this. Look in the description below, there you find it, and check out this Betmaster tool that I'm offering here for you, for your services, and for you to be able to beat the betting markets as well with this very fine tool, I consider. And I've been working with this tool, or rather the same algorithms, in a different surrounding, in a different interface and so on. And still it is available now for you and for everyone. So get your access there and be ready to kickstart your season and winning streak. Okay, anyway, we initialize. We weigh the last campaigns, the last 4 campaigns that had been played in this Liga by 4-3-2-1-0. I advise you not to take the current season in, because the job will be done more or less if you finalize the past games after they have been calculated, because in this case the effect of the results that had been coming in will take their impact on the evaluations. Anyway, so it means best is actually to start the preseason, but if you start during the season, it is no problem at all. Anyway, we initialize here after we've done this these weights, and now we see Inter, Juventus, Atalanta, maybe okay for very good results. Napoli still with a couple of very good campaigns they played a while ago, and Lazio, Roma, the two Roman sides, both a bit low. This looks pretty decent. First of all, there are 2 promoted sides, Salernitana and Venezia. They are considered or looked at here as being pretty decent. There are no huge differences. We may be happy with that. We can maybe adjust this here a bit later. When we usually know in Italy, they sometimes know very well which team belongs a bit higher. If they can perform better, we have to wait. But first of all, we want to take care of this home advantage that we are used to already. And it's proposed here 1.083, which is okay. That had been a bit lower, but there is this without the Corona time here. But before that it was, so maybe 1.09 is a decent value here. So we take this and shape them to this. You keep in mind that 1.1 more or less is the average in Europe. So if you're close to 1.1, it should always be quite a decent value, right? So now we shape this home advantage. Watch out here for the home column. There are no huge differences here. You would see Milan had been better away from home than at home. Well, if we shape it here, this effect is gone. We lose it. But does it mean they are going to perform better on the road next or this campaign here? We are not too sure. About Salernitana, they signed Ribéry now, we know now. But do we think, well, I mean, usually the market always says they are bad. And in Italy, it may be something about that. So we set them to the same value as all the others. This is more or less the same, 0.67, 0.68. Between Udinese, they are always considered to be a bit stronger, but where would we put them? I mean, there's not this much space. Maybe even Sampdoria a bit worse, I don't know. Fiorentina should be, they usually well, are considered to be a bit better. I don't know. At the top we have to be very careful. I mean, are Inter this much better? Are Juve coming close? Who's better? In fact, they lost Lukaku, they lost Ronaldo. Of course, they are somehow the top sides. Atalanta, can they do another such fine season? I'm not too convinced, although they told me wrong last time already. I would consider Roma to be a bit better, whereby I have to be careful. This is Roma, is Totti, so on. So am I objective on that? I'm not sure. But we shuffle them around, and still we are not certain enough. Milan, I may consider a bit better. Maybe Lazio, market will always have a bit better. But those are, I mean, we are not doing justice to Atalanta, because I don't know what to do with them. Really, 1.4, they played rather than 1.7. But can they do this again? Would you agree that maybe Napoli are a bit too high here? I don't know. I mean, Torino, well, they are more or less the same, but I know that Italians, they consider maybe Torino once again to be a bit better on this level of Udinese, who are also a bit better, but maybe a bit exaggerated here. It's not major changes that I'm doing here, right? Spezia. Okay, we stick to this. Did you watch me do these adjustments? We can normalize this, because this will care for those values being the same. The amount of goals to be scored will be in relation exactly the amount of goals to be conceded. So it's weighing this out slightly, this balance. And now this looks pretty fine to me. Now we save this. And now we go for the finalize of the past games. This means it's calculating the goal expectancies more or less for the matches upcoming. From those, it's calculating by simulation the probabilities for the outcomes, for the certain outcomes of the games. But we don't need that actually for the finalize. We just need the goal expectancies. They are compiled like that. The home expectancies compared to the opponent's away expectancy, and so on. And then there are some mathematical functions behind, but this is proven over the years. It's working pretty well, and at least it is going to compile those, and if there are deviations, it's going to adjust the strength of the teams. So if I expect more or less a team to win 2-1 or goal expectancy in this area, and they lose 0-2, then their offensive is getting worse and their defense as well. So there are adjustments to be made following the results, and this is a decent step to be done, but still you can do your assessments here and still adjust those afterwards or even beforehand, and you can adjust this at any time, which we may still do in the process after we compile the prices for the games. At least, in fact, I've taken you through this process here, which you can reproduce, and if you do not really know why did he do this or that, you can make up your mind. Do you think Milan are better than Roma? Do you think Napoli are better than Milan and Roma? Do you think Atalanta are really going to be worse? Are Lazio behind? It's not these big differences between these 4 or 5 teams. Inter, Juve should not be in too much doubt, although, there could be a surprise winner as well, right? I mean, they could take over Juventus, especially after, once again, selling their top striker, more or less, whereby 37 he is now, or is it, or 36? 36, right? I'm not sure. But anyway, in Italy, we saw Ibrahimovic also, he scored his goals until 39. I'm not sure, did he extend even his contract? I don't know. But all those details you can try and work out after a while. Now we are almost through here, and now I think I rather prefer to save this once again, although I do not see the full effect here of those results. And now it did compile the prices already. No, well, yeah, this is, they are playing round in the 3rd round. Okay, Empoli, so I cannot do this guessing game anymore. I'm not quite sure why the values are in here now, but it took a bit longer. The finalize, which means that it seems to have calculated those prices already. We still have a good idea in what the computer thinks, and we can compare this as well in our heads and guess market, or we can instantly compare it to market as we've done in the Primera or in every other league. You can always make up your mind and think of a decent price that you would consider is it the true price or the price that market price we will get. Empoli, I know already, will be lower because they do not trust Venezia. I would give them a chance, so I'm ready to go with Venezia in this game. Napoli, Juve, are they favorites? Well, with our settings, they are favorites. Juve did not lost their first game against Empoli, at least. They won the second one. But, well, it could be an even game, more or less, right? Market will. Atalanta 178 was a decent price, but it, well, could be a bit lower at market, I'm not sure. But as we adjusted Atalanta, we can take that back, of course. Sampdoria, Inter, maybe there's a somewhat bigger price on Inter, but I would even maybe be ready to bet on them. Cagliari against Genoa, this looks like a decent price, looks fine to me. Spezia, Udinese, maybe Udinese even small favorites, could be. Torino, Salernitana, this will be lower at market, but I may also give it a chance, Salernitana, to win a point maybe at Torino. Milan, Lazio, this market will be lower, will be higher here. I have to go with Milan, I'm pretty sure. Roma could also be a bit more, 165, but Sassuolo, we adjusted Roma and we didn't do much with Sassuolo. Maybe they are a bit better, I'm not sure. Bologna against Verona looks like very okay to me. So we can compare this now, my guesses. And Empoli is 183, so this is below our price. We could go with Venezia, the one that although I'm gonna take back this one. I have to get me out of the way here for a second. And I forgot to stop those. Where do I see the... anyway, I may go with Venedig, as I promised already. Napoli, they consider favorites. We go along, that's fine. Atalanta, I said maybe a bit lower. Here we adjusted Atalanta with not fully justified. We also adjusted Fiorentina. So you can say, well, market more or less makes the prices according to the results. I would not dare to bet on Fiorentina, although I see a fair chance for them to perform here, but I would still adjust my own settings a bit. This is always the choice you have. Inter, we have 163, I think it's 167 here. Of course, we can always compare this, 163, 167. It's very close, but why not? I can't see, well, as they lost Lukaku, and maybe it's early season, early days, and so on, well, maybe not so reliable, right? And then we have Torino, it's 160, as I said, will be way below, but we give it a try with Salernitana, not to lose, so we take the X2. We have a very good price here. We pay clearly below 2.0 on the Torino win, which means why not? And here, Spezia, we had an even game. I was pretty sure we're going to get even better on Spezia, and maybe it's worth it. I mean, 3.1, but do we know so well? What do you think about Spezia? What do you know about them? Are Udinese really better? This, I'm not sure. I mean, we could do here, but we don't have to, right? You're not forced to do that. Cagliari 215, 222, so we are very good here. Milan, as I said, it went down already a bit. I saw that price before because you know, I'm cheating a bit, and as I tell you, I'm not cheating because I looked at the prices, as simple as that. For the Roma, it was a bit more. Do we want to go? Do we give Totti a try? Do we give it a try? Well, why not? Just to have a few bets. Of course, this is not the way to make money. In the Bologna, Verona, we could even consider the X2, but I'm not so sure about Verona. They performed well. I know they made those good results. But Bologna, I still would consider, of course, to be and last campaign they did convince me in some sense, so I don't need to go against Verona. If you want to have this effect away, then you simply say, well, Spezia, did you think, for example, right? So you simply say the differences, they are going to be a bit bigger in this league, but where do you start with? Which team are the ones that are not going to be competitive? There are the gaps are going to come, but usually I can't tell really, right? Bologna, I said that there is some reason to trust them a bit better, a bit more. So I set them here. For the others, I can't really say. Fiorentina, we made a bit too good, maybe. Why? And Atalanta a bit too low. So rather we take that back, what we thought here. But if you trust in this, what I'm saying, or you trust your own judgment, then of course you would have a good chance to bet here, which is also not a mistake. I mean, we had also the small problem maybe with Inter. They had been superior. They won the title, and maybe 2.1, but it's not massive. 2.1 is still, well, this is not Bayern Munich or so, right? This is suggesting price. Although there are like 7 top teams now, as Atalanta stepped up there with level. So it had been 6, now it's 7 for the moment. And now we can compile this once again and maybe see some small changes here or there. Also the Empoli even went a bit up, but this is simulation results. Sometimes like this, it's smaller changes. Napoli, Juventus, we have a pretty even game. We trust that. We have 161 now. Atalanta is a lot closer now. Now maybe we could once again shape that the other way around, right? And Inter, we have 164. We are fine with that. Cagliari is good. Now we have small favorites, Udinese, because we did those minor changes. Now we have 2.07, a bit lower here maybe, but we still have to go with Salernitana. We give Ribery a chance. Milan is still 2.07, that's fine, 156. We still could go with Roma. And here we may go with Verona, but we don't necessarily have to. So that would be the same thing. We have 5 bets. We are going to check the over-under later. Doesn't make this much sense early in the season, right? So I leave you with this. Thanks a lot for watching. You see everything else in the description. And check out the Betmaster tool yourself. It's gonna work. If you need some assistance, you will easily get that if you get in touch with me. Thanks a lot.